You ever just stop and think about AI? It feels like actual magic, doesn't it? One second it's writing a poem, the next it's unlocking your phone just by looking at you. It's wild. But what if I told you that behind all that wizardry is a process that's actually, well, pretty simple? It all comes down to one big question.
So, yeah, that's the big one, right? How does a machine actually learn? It's easy to picture some genius programmer typing out millions of lines of code for every little thing it does, but that's not really how it works. The real answer is way cooler, and it all hinges on this one powerful idea.
All right, so let's dive into the AI learning puzzle and unlock this whole thing. The master key to this entire puzzle? It's a process called training. See, AI isn't born smart. It has to be taught, kind of like us.
And what is AI training? Well, it's basically the process of teaching an AI how to do something by just showing it a ton of examples. The really crucial part here is that word examples. The AI learns by seeing the same kinds of things over and over and over until it starts to figure out the patterns all on its own. It's not about being given a rulebook, it's about discovering the rules.
So how does it actually do that? How does that discovery happen? Well, believe it or not, this whole complicated sounding thing really just boils down to a super simple three-step loop. A loop it just runs on repeat, again and again and again.
Okay, so this is the core of it all. Step 1, predict. The AI takes a guess. Step 2, compare. It looks at the right answer and figures out how wrong its guess was. And step 3, adjust. It tweaks itself, just a tiny bit, so it'll be a little less wrong the next time. And when I say it repeats this, I mean it repeats this millions, sometimes billions of times.
All right, so practice makes perfect, right? Well, it's the same for AI. If that whole predict, compare, adjust loop sounds a little robotic, don't worry. It's actually a lot like how you and I learn pretty much any new skill.
Let's use an example. Think about learning to shoot free throws in basketball. Your first shot, it's probably an air ball, right? Maybe the next one clanks off the rim. You're gonna miss. But you don't just stand there and keep making the exact same mistake.
And this is where it clicks. When you're learning to shoot, you make a shot, you see where it lands, and then you adjust your form. It's a natural loop. Well, look at the AI training process. Make a prediction, measure the error, adjust its settings. It is literally the same learning pattern. It's all just trial, error, and feedback.
So what's the secret sauce here? It's feedback. Simple as that. You can't get better at basketball if you're shooting with your eyes closed, right? You need to see the result. And AI is no different. It needs that training data with the correct answers so it knows how wrong it was. That's the only way it can measure its mistakes and, little by little, get better. Okay, let's talk about how we get from that simple idea to real intelligence. Now, we're going to take that basketball analogy and scale it up. I mean, way up. Because when we talk about training something like ChatGPT, we're not talking about a few hundred practice shots. We're talking about a scale of data that is honestly kind of hard to wrap your head around.
I mean, look at what it takes to train a big language model. You feed it billions of sentences, countless books, huge, massive chunks of the internet. We are talking about more text than any single person could read in, like, thousands of lifetimes. It's just a staggering amount of information.
And for all of that data, it's running that same simple loop. Predict, compare, adjust. Over and over and over again. Billions of times. On a sentence, it'll try to guess the next word, check if it was right, and make a tiny adjustment. Billions of times. And this is where the magic happens. After all that repetition, something amazing occurs. The AI starts to figure things out on its own. Think about this. Nobody sat down and coded the rules of English grammar into ChatGPT. It just learned them. It discovered grammar and facts and different writing styles just by finding the patterns in all that data. It's not programmed. It's discovered. Now, as you can probably guess, doing this billions of times with mountains of data, well, it takes a ridiculous amount of computer power. We're talking about a huge cost, both in money and in energy. And that's a big reason why, for the most part, only huge companies and organizations can really train these massive models from the ground up.
So, okay, why does any of this training stuff actually matter to you and me? Well, understanding this process is the key to understanding, well, everything about an AI, why it's amazing, and also why it can be so frustratingly flawed.
If you remember one thing from all this, let it be this. The training data is the AI. An AI is just a mirror reflecting the data it was trained on. Everything it knows, everything it can do, it all comes from that data.
And that has some really huge implications. It means the AI inherits everything.
the good, the bad, and the ugly. It gets the knowledge and the skills for sure, but it also gets any gaps in that data. And, this is the really important part, it inherits our biases. If our data is biased, the AI will be biased, period.
So the path forward is actually pretty clear, isn't it? If we want better AI that's more helpful, more accurate, and a lot more fair, then we need better training data. It all comes back to the data.
So let's put a bow on this. AI training is not some unknowable magic. It's really just a simple process. Predict, compare, adjust. Done at an insane scale. That's it. That's the secret recipe that turns huge piles of raw data into the actual working intelligence we use every single day.
And that really leaves us with one last kind of heavy question to chew on, doesn't it? If these incredibly powerful AI systems are learning from the digital world that we created, from all of our books or articles or conversations, our biases, then what are we actually teaching them?